Well, we both were born and raised in pretty conservative, healthy Christian families. But I feel like God's just kind of brought us to some new place through the last year and a half, I suppose. Kind of went through some tougher experiences and trials, or whatever you want to call them, and I think what stands out in my mind, just as I reflect on the last year, is one of the verses that we've held on to is in Romans 8, where it says God works all things for good to those who love Him, and when you go through experiences that you wouldn't wish on anybody or necessarily even want to repeat, but you are thankful for them, it's something only God can do. So we are Jesse and Holly Long, and we've been going here to North Coast for 5 or 6 months, I guess.
I grew up in a Christian home, always knew about Jesus. And so at the young age of 5, I knew I didn't want to go to hell, and that I wanted to be with Jesus, like my family. And so I remember just was simple, asked the Lord into my heart. And I remember just always, at any time there was an altar call or dedicating my life to the Lord, again, over and over again,
I was probably 10 years old, I think, and I remember laying in bed and just thinking, like, eternity's a really long time, and it's an especially long time to be in hell. And I remember just sobbing and going up to my mom and dad. My dad's a pastor, actually, and so I kind of understood the gospel a lot, but it was a pretty big deal, I felt like, that night, because I went up and my mom was just like, well, that's, because I was just going, people in hell forever, and she was like, well, that's why we've got to tell people about Jesus, and I felt like that was a real kind of change point in my life, or kind of a keystone event.
Well, I had my daughter, and went into postpartum depression at about 6 months after. And so that for about a year I struggled and not really realizing what was going on. And it kind of came to a point where one night I actually got so bad that I ran for the safe, and where the gun was, and he was there and it was helping me, but so I was hospitalized after that, and for about a week, and so that really took me on, I guess, I knew the Lord before that, of course, but that was really a breaking point in my life, that when you hit rock bottom like that, it's like He became so real to us, and you're not just kind of like riding on the back of your parents' faith. It was, I had to have Him, and realizing His grace comes in the form of all kinds of things, people, the church, medication, counseling. It comes in all different ways, and I'm just thankful for the grace of God, I think.
It's kind of like, well, if you just prayed more and got your stuff together, like, it'd be all good. Mm-hmm. And I know that God, can heal people physically, emotionally, spiritually, all that. But we also live in physical bodies, and sometimes He decides to, make us just more dependent on Him through weakness.
Yeah. Even
a weakness of depending on medication, And that's what I think what we found is you go through these struggles and you look back and you realize that God drew you closer to each other, closer to Him.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't trade it. I mean, it's like, man, I would have, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we know it was God's plan, all along, and it's hard. Man, I felt forsaken for sure by the Lord, but...
Yeah.
And then so getting involved in the home group, I think it's just really meant a lot to us, because I was able to share my testimony and people just gathered around me that night, and lifting me up in prayer, even texting me later, and just being an encouragement. And then for us to go in and hear the struggles of other people was like, I deal with that too. That's so cool, and we're not alone. I guess. So that's been a really encouragement for us.
Rooted just kind of came at a cool time for us, I guess, because we were real new to the church and just felt like we wanted to get connected. But it's also just a way to be reminded that that the other people in the community, there's Christians out there, we're not the only ones. And that's been fun to just feel that Christian camaraderie and really support as you go through different struggles. And we've had struggles in our group, where we're praying for each other and texting all the time. And it's just helped us get connected. And we're grateful.